Hello, hello, hello. This is Aurelia Davis, the educator's educator. And you see there's a smile on my face, and that smile is there for a reason because today I'm going to unbox the STEM learning cards. All right, we've been waiting on them, and they're here, the STEM learning cards. I'm going to open them up and let you see exactly what's inside. Let me get my scissors over here. They're in a cellophane wrap, which is very good and protected. So basically what you do is just open them up, take the cellophane off, and put that on the side. And you have this very durable box that holds the STEM learning cards. We're just going to go in a little bit into it because in the coming weeks, I'm going to be talking a whole lot more about it. So box very durable. This is good. Even children can handle it. So the first thing you do is first thing we see is we're going to see the guidebook. As when I started teaching, I relied really on my guidebook until I learned the curriculum, until I learned math. Until I learned reading, until I learned how to do social studies and science. I depended on the guidebook. So every teacher or even parents, you need a guidebook on how to teach different things. And so this particular guidebook was made, I created that with the STEM learning cards. And there's my name inside. I like that. But anyway, it just sort of gives a table of contents, introduction, how to use this guidebook, science lessons 1 through 4, technology lessons 1 through 4. And so each lesson, science, technology, engineering, and math, each one has four lessons that you're going to be tapping into. Then we have a small section that talks about resources, as to how you can tap into other resources to just even help teach what you're teaching. So this is how to use the guidebook, and I'm not going to go into a whole lot of just maybe later on, but it basically tells you technology lesson 3, lesson 4. So it breaks it down. Teacher tips. I put some teacher tips in there. I have always been the type of educator that I basically wanted to be able to think on my feet. I wanted to be able to think on my feet. So you can start a lesson, but at the same time, after you start a lesson, the children sometimes would take that lesson into a whole different direction. That's okay. That's okay. That means you have their interest and they are very interested in what you're going to teach. And then they may even be more interested in what's to come or what other questions that they may have about science, technology, engineering, or math. So this is the guidebook. And then inside we have the cards. Okay. Okay. And this is a poly wrap too. Also, I like that because it keeps them clean. So I'm just going to sort of prick that open and go into that, tear them open. I'm loving this. I'm just excited about this. And I hope you'll get excited too. If you have not purchased the STEM cards yet, please go over to aureliadavis.com and purchase them. I have them. I have them. So here's the STEM learning cards, and this is a preschool edition. You ask, why did I do preschool? Well, it's interesting because I just came out of a meeting, and there doesn't seem to be a good solid curriculum. I'm saying this, it doesn't exist, but doesn't seem to be a good solid curriculum for STEM, for preschool. And so if you want students to embrace the curriculum of STEM or the culture of STEM, science, technology, engineering, math, their children are never too young to get this. They are never ever too young to get this. They are a lot of our babies are immediately playing with technology because they know how to turn on the phones. They know how to use their fingers to get into the phones and so on and so forth. So this is the preschool edition. Okay, and we start out with cards. Each card, there's different sections, different colors. I'll start with this. This in different colors. And so the science component is yellow and gold. That's the science component. I'll go back through those in a little bit. The technology component is blue. One of my favorite colors, blue. Okay. The engineering component is orange. Okay, orange. You can sort of see those. And the math is purple. Okay, so as you're teaching STEM, then you can easily relate to these especially with preschool. You can start attaching colors to particular subjects. You can attach colors to particular subjects. That helps a child recognize different categories, and it helps them put things in order in order. So if they were given like you put on a math card, and you put it on a purple math card, the child would know that you put a number or a problem on a math card and it was purple. The child knows how to take that and basically place it with math for STEM, which is purple. So those are the four subjects. Each particular subject stands with, I started with the definition, or the S. The S stands for STEM. The S in STEM stands for science. What is science? And then I went into a definition. Students and children are always learning, building vocabulary. Building vocabulary in a child is very, very, very important. And I'm just going to be honest, these children that were born during the pandemic, they come here smart. They're coming here smarter than ever. They have all kinds of skills and knowledge within themselves. And so what you need to do is tap into those particular skills, especially if you're a preschool teacher or even kindergarten and first grade, you can still use this particular program. So that's S in STEM stands for science. What is science? Science is the study of the natural world based on observations and experiments. And then it goes back into, on the other side, it says teacher lesson 1. See guidebook for instructions, and it goes through all kinds of things. I have built up a volume of vocabulary words, and I'm even telling the teachers that basically once you start this, you just don't stop with a card and put it away. No, you you can easily build a library, with books on STEM. You can easily do a bulletin board as far as STEM is concerned. And if you have the visuals there for the children to go back and forth to learn different things on their own, that will even be better, because then they have taken an interest in something and they want to get more information on it. So those are the lessons as far as science is concerned. Then I'll just go through the first lesson for technology. The T in STEM stands for technology. What is technology? Technology is the use of science in solving problems, or a method or machine for doing something that is created by technology. And then, of course, on the back, it talks about lesson 1. And it's basically just going over labeling a laptop. Labeling a laptop. The children are using laptops, but do they actually know what the parts of the laptop is? That's very important. That's very important. That's building vocabulary. Mouse, laptop, internet, printer, keyboard. These words are not too difficult for preschoolers. These words are not too difficult for preschoolers because they have such an abundance of information available to them through technology. You want to build on what they already know. Now, a lot of times they don't necessarily have the definition for it, but they can possibly point to the mouse, on the laptop, or they can point to the printer and what it looks like. So these are things that you definitely have to build on. Okay, we're going to go over to engineering. It says the E in STEM stands for engineer. What is engineering? So I talked about engineering, and then I talked about the person who may be an engineer. An engineer is anyone who designs and builds machines or structures. And then on the back of that, it says teacher lesson 1, review vocabulary: engineering, engineer, ask, plan, imagine, create, test, improve, share, reflect. Building vocabulary, still building vocabulary. Building that vocabulary is the start of any curriculum. That's why and I don't know if they're doing it now, but I did spelling. I did spelling throughout all my years of teaching. I created spelling lists. I had spelling for social studies. I had spelling for science. I had spelling for reading, and I had spelling for math. Yes, I even did spelling for math. And the children, as they learn these particular vocabulary words, they were more ready to explain how they did something or how they came about as far as creating or solving a problem. Going back to math vocabulary, there would be math vocabulary in the beginning of each lesson, and I would have the math vocabulary on the board, and then I insisted that the students look up the words to know exactly what addition meant, what did subtraction mean? What did multiplication, division, take away? All of those numerical numbers, all of that was very, very important when we were talking about it. So that's the engineering. That's the engineering. And it talks about, it gets into 4 different lessons and even taps into doing some, you can even end up doing some experiments as far as the engineering part is concerned, and doing some science experiments also. And then, of course, math, the math part of STEM. The M in STEM stands for math. What is math? Math is a study of numbers, shapes, and patterns. And I just did not say numbers, but I wanted to put in the whole concept of math. There's patterns and shapes, and all of these things are things that basically a preschooler needs to know. And you will be surprised once you introduce these concepts in preschool, how easily it will be for them to transition into to kindergarten, and from kindergarten to first grade, and from first grade to second grade, and so on and so forth. That particular lesson, teacher lesson 1, it says review vocabulary the following: counting, addition, subtraction, measure, and geometry. Now you said put geometry for preschool. Yes, they need to know that geometry exists. And then we even get into, let's spell math. So the spelling takes place and the vocabulary takes place. So these are the 4 subjects that are in the cards. And like I said before, you're not just held on to doing these particular lessons. Of course, you can add more lessons and more experiments and more activities to science, technology, engineering, and math. And then what we did is that as the children are having questions, we were able to put in these cards. I wonder if I have a marker, but basically these particular cards, let me see, let me see how many is 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's about 16, but they're sort of stuck together. But these are those erasable cards where you use like a marker and you can erase it. So as you're doing the lessons, and if you have the children have questions and whatever, and then they can easily handle these themselves and erase and make marks on these particular cards. So this is a good addition to adding to the lessons that are already in place for the STEM cards. Oh, this has been very exciting. I just wanted to show them to you. I definitely want to show them to you. This is the STEM Learning Cards Preschool Edition. And I hope you will take this. If you haven't gotten yours yet, go over to AureliaDavis.com. Go over to AureliaDavis.com and order yours. And I will send them to you ASAP. Hello. And you know what? I want to say it again. This is not necessarily just for teachers, but parents, you can order these too. If you have a preschooler at home, and I'm talking about as soon as they start to walk, you need to expose them to as much learning as possible, as much learning as possible. I remember happily as when I was a new mom, my daughter, and we lived in a high-rise building. But when I would get on the elevator with her, I would point out the numbers 1, 2, 3. That's the education. That's the educator in me. And so I was able to help her know her numbers before she even attended preschool. And so it's the type of thing where everything that a preschooler is exposed to can be a learning experience. That's what you need to do. Everything that they are exposed to can be a learning experience. So now the next couple of weeks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be going through some of the lessons that these cards present and tell you how you can use them, and then how you can possibly add some other lessons or take away additional lessons or activities from just this particular one STEM card, how you can build up the lessons and the activities and everything. So this is Aurelia Davis. You see I'm smiling. I'm smiling for a reason. I hope that you have, if you haven't ordered yet, please do so and order the STEM learning cards, the preschool edition. I just hope you get them. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's a good thing. It's really going to help. And I mean, you're going to really love them. You're going to really love them. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.